Dr. Homi Jahangir Baba and Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the two rocket boys who ignited India's scientific prowess. If India has emerged as a leading nuclear and space power today, it is because of Dr. Baba and Dr. Sarabhai. Perhaps they would have gone on to achieve more if not for their untimely and mysterious deaths. In January 1966, Homi Jahangir Baba, the father of India's nuclear program, was on his way to Vienna to attend the meeting of the International Atomic Energy Agency when the plane he was traveling crashed over the Swiss Alps, killing all the passengers on board, including Baba. Officials attributed the cause of the disaster to be a miscommunication between the pilot and the Geneva airport. But Homi Baba's death was only the beginning. The date was 30 December 1970. Dr. Sarabhai had witnessed the firing of a Russian rocket and inaugurated the Tumba railway station that day. He was to review the design of the satellite launch vehicle before his departure for Bombay the next day. He had spoken to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam on the telephone. Within an hour of the conversation, Dr. Sarabhai died of cardiac arrest at his hotel room in Halcyon Castle, Kovalam, Kerala in Thiruvananthapuram. He was just 52 and had no health complaints. Over the years, several Indian nuclear and space scientists have disappeared and been found dead mysteriously. In fact, it was during the Congress-led UPA regime that a lot of these mysterious deaths happened. Here is a look at some of them. On June 8, 2009, L. Mahalingam, a 47-year-old senior nuclear scientific officer of the Kaiga Atomic Power Station in Karwar, Karnataka, went for a morning walk only to never return. 5 days later, his decomposed body was found in the Kali River. Officials concluded it to be a suicide. Just 2 months earlier in the same year, Ravi Kumar Mole, a Kaiga nuclear power plant employee, died at an apartment in Mallapur's Kaiga township under unrevealed circumstances. This too was concluded as a suicide, but Ravi Kumar Mole's wife had requested a CBI investigation. On December 30, 2009, two young and promising scientists, Umang Singh and Partha Pratim Bagh, died in a suspicious fire accident in the Radiation and Photochemistry Lab of the Baba Atomic Research Center, Trombay. Suspicious because both of them were not working with flammable materials, and the reason for the fire remains unknown to this date. What is worth mentioning is that the accident happened at the highly secure third floor of the Bagh facility, just a kilometer away from the nuclear reactors. Authorities have remained tight-lipped about this case too. In February 2010, Mahadevan Padmanabhan Iyer, a 48-year-old mechanical engineer working at the Bark Reaction Group, was found dead at his home in South Mumbai in what seemed to be a clear case of murder. His death was attributed to a failed homosexual relationship. In another case, a 63-year-old retired scientist and former president of the Indian Women Scientists Association was discovered dead at her home near the Bark campus in April 2011. Another scientist named Mohammad Mustafa, working at the Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research Kalpakam, was found dead with his wrist slit. Police recovered a note supposedly written by Mustafa stating that nobody is responsible for his death, and this case too remains unsolved. In October 2013, two chief engineers KK Josh and Abhi Shivam, assigned to India's first nuclear-powered submarine, INS Arihant, were found dead on railway tracks near the Pendurthi railway station near Vishakhapatnam. It was believed that they were killed or poisoned elsewhere before their bodies were kept on the railway tracks to make their deaths look like accident or suicide. However, the Defense Ministry back then concluded it to be an accident, ruling out any conspiracy, despite the relatives of the deceased demanding for a detailed probe. In 2015, an RTI activist had filed a public interest litigation in the Bombay High Court stating that hundreds of nuclear experts deployed to various nuclear institutions around the nation have died suspiciously in the previous 15 years, with many of these deaths labeled as suicides or unexplained deaths by investigative authorities. According to Kothari, the Bark has documented 680 staff fatalities over the previous 15 years. The Baroda heavy water plant recorded 26 deaths, while the plants in Kota and Tuticorin reported 30 and 27 deaths respectively. According to Kothari, 92 people working at the Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research in Kalpakam have died, with 16 of them being declared as suicides. It is possible that one or two of these fatalities may have been suicides, but a large number of cases have been marked unexplained with no further investigations into the unnatural deaths. In some cases, the investigations were done hastily. Not just nuclear scientists, even ISRO scientists have died mysteriously. Between 1995 and 2010, 684 ISRO employees have died, and many of these deaths remain a mystery. Tapan Mishra, a top ISRO scientist, made an explosive revelation that he had survived 2 poisoning attempts in 3 years. Nambi Narayanan, the ISRO scientist instrumental in building the Vikas engine and developing of cryogenic technology, was slapped with false espionage charges and became a victim of political machinations in Kerala. For years, the lives of India's nuclear and space scientists have remained under threat. What is even more shocking has been the apathy of successive Congress governments. There has been no transparency in the investigations of these deaths as well. Did the lives of India's precious brains not matter to the Congress? Did India's strategic interests not matter to the Congress? Was the Congress neglectful in securing the lives of our scientists? Or is there a larger conspiracy behind the silence and haphazard investigations? Whatever it is, one thing is for sure: the sabotage of India's scientists has set the country's nuclear capabilities back by decades.